Hi everyone, welcome to another video. In this session, we're going to be looking into the shoulder. I'm Tom, a sports therapist at Austin Performance Sports Therapy. Let's dive into the shoulder. I'm now going to take you through some anatomy and physiology of the shoulder. So starting from the front, chest bone to the shoulder, you've got your clavicle. At the back, you've got your scapula. At the front, there's a little nodule called your coracoid process, which your biceps attaches to, and so does your pectoralis minor. I'm going to take you through some muscles of the shoulder. So starting from the elbow up, you've got your biceps at the front and you've got your triceps at the back. At the top of the arm, you've got your deltoid muscles, anterior and posterior, and the medial. At the back of the shoulder, you've got your trapezius that goes up to the neck. You've also got your rotator cuff muscles, also known as your sits muscles, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres muscles, and your subscapularis. At the front, you've got your pectoral muscles, you've got your pec major and your pec minor. I'm now going to take you through some movements of the shoulder. So we've got flexion, extension, abduction, adduction, external rotation, and internal rotation. I'm now going to take you through some common injury points of the shoulder. As it's a ball and socket joint and lots of movement, there's lots and lots of injuries that can occur. So you've got things like sprains and strains, which are like a dull kind of ache. You've then got your inflammation like pain, like your burning sensations, like your bursitis and your tendonitis. You can get syndromes like frozen shoulder, which is essentially where your rotator cuff muscles are fighting against each other and it's locking your shoulder into one position. You can dislocate your shoulder, which is where the ball comes out of the socket. You can get impingement and the muscles come through that acromial space. It pinches and it traps nerves and things like that. So it's more of an electronic current kind of pain. So you may experience some shoulder injuries if you play sports such as rugby, or if you do a racket sport like tennis, golf, badminton. You don't even have to be playing sport to get shoulder injuries. You can be sat at your desk hunched over. You know, a lot of desk-based jobs involve rounding your shoulders forward, and that can cause shoulder injury. We're here with Becky and we've realized so far that she is extra flexible and there's not many exercises, not many stretch exercises that she can't complete with flying colors. So to begin with, we are going to do the scarf stretch, which is essentially just arm across the body, pulling as close you can, and you'll get a real nice stretch along the rotator cuff muscles here. Yeah?
Yeah.
Good. And then we can move from this. If you were to face away from us and do an overhead reach, so if you try and interlock your fingers behind you, which Becky can do very, very well, and then do it with the opposite arm. Perfect. And then from this position as well, we can do a shoulder blade squeeze. So if I was to get you to almost put your arms in, this is it, and then squeeze your shoulder blades together, you'll get a really nice stretch along the front of the chest.
You can definitely feel that.
Good. So from this position as well, you can interlock your fingers behind you and pull up. Again, you've got a nice stretch. And then if you were to turn and face me, interlock your fingers and push out. You get a good stretch there as well.
My shoulder's cracked.
Good. If you were to find yourself a doorway or a pillar or a post or something like this, and with a bent arm, push your chest through. Now it's good with a bent arm rather than a straight arm, because with a bent arm you're stretching the pectoral muscles, but if you were to extend your arm and do the same thing, you're more targeting the bicep.
Yeah, you can definitely feel the difference. It's so weird.
One way in which you could extend the stretch around the shoulders is by implementing something like a broomstick handle. So if you were to put this behind yourself and almost use your body as a lever, you can increase the distance in which you're stretching your shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can just do it at different angles and really increase that shoulder mobility.
Yeah, can definitely feel that.
Good. So a good exercise to do up against the wall is if I can get you to back up against the wall, as many points of contact with the wall as possible. You might only be able to do this with your left arm at the minute, but it's almost like doing snow angels but up against the wall, and it's just getting your shoulder in all of its different end ranges.
Your hand meant to be like that?
Yeah, as many points of contact, and obviously if we didn't have picture frames in the way it would be a lot easier, but this is the general gist. And it's just increasing that shoulder mobility. Good. Lovely. So since we're on the topic of shoulder mobility and stretching, I'm just going to get Becky to demonstrate scapular rhythm. So if you were to just wing your scapulas by lifting up and down, you can see a nice movement of the scapulas here, and they're just winging in and out, in and out. So now to demonstrate some shoulder strength work, we've got Becky here, and so while we've got the cable machine in this lower position, we're just going to do some bent over rows. So again, squeezing it when it's in that end range. So this can just help with that shoulder extension. Training muscles in the back of the shoulder. Okay, and relax. And now while we've still got the cable machine in this same position, we're also going to demonstrate some deltoid raises. So keeping your elbows above your wrists, just strengthening the deltoids in front here. So actually, while we've got you here, we're also going to demonstrate some lateral raises as well. So with the machine like this, we're almost coming out to the side. So use your right arm, come out to the side. Try and do it with a straight arm. So with a straight arm, lateral raises out to the side. And you can do it at different angles, coming up out in front of you. Different angles. Like so. No, absolutely fine.
How did you do that? You were like here and you went, oh my God, I literally can't.
I've got shorter arms, I've got shorter levers, so it's a lot easier for myself to do. So. You can use something lighter. If you're finding that the exercise is too hard, grab yourself something light. Like a dumbbell. And do exactly the same movement.
Oh, that's a lot easier.
And this is strengthening the same muscle. Good. So sticking with the shoulder, let's move up to more sort of waist height. So from this kind of angle, you want to be doing rotations. Mm-hmm. So that's internal rotation of the shoulder. And then you can also stand opposite way, external rotations of the shoulder, training rotator cuff muscles. So you'd want to be standing, facing away.
Yeah.
And internally rotate.
Oh, okay. Oh, God.
That's it. Good. And then turn and face me. And externally rotate the shoulder.
Hit that.
Try and keep your elbow in.
Okay.
Good. Ah. And again, if you're finding the weight too heavy, just lower it down until it suits you. Okay. We're talking more rehab strengthening, so the weight doesn't need to be massive. A lot of physios will be using things like water bottles, tins of beans, stuff like that, because let's face it, if we're dealing with an injured shoulder, you're not going to be wanting to be pushing big. You're not going to be wanting to be, you know, building the muscle up too much. It's just for rehabilitation purposes. Lastly, I'd like to demonstrate some lat pull downs. So Becky, if I can ask you to get yourself on your knees, reach up and just pull down and squeeze your back here together. Good. Okay, so while we're talking about the shoulders, we've got our pectoral muscles that also need strengthening. So one way in which we can do that is a pushing motion, like so. So if I can ask you to get hold of this and almost punch out, nice strong stance, and squeeze it while it's in that end range. Good. Lovely. And relax. So I'm now just going to ask Becky to demonstrate some tricep work. We've spoken about the chest and the rotator cuff muscles, but also important about strengthening the shoulder are the biceps and triceps. So with triceps, we've got the rope attachment, and we're just going to ask Becky to straighten the arms from a bent position and really squeeze at that end range. So if I can ask you to do a couple of those repetitions. Lean slightly forward, keeping the elbows nice and tucked in. And that's just working on the 3 muscles at the back of the arm. Lovely. And then the paired muscle with the tricep is the bicep. And so we do the opposite. We do it from a low position to a bent position, a straight position to a bent position. So we can keep it with the rope, just move it lower down. And so just from a straight arm position, bend the arms to a, lovely. And so what this is going to be doing is strengthening the front muscles of the arm. Again, keeping your elbows nice and tucked in. Lovely. So with the trapezius, which we can also relate to the shoulder, is just a military press in an upwards position, like so.
So that I can be. So from here?
So from a bent arm position,
yeah,
nice and controlled, up to the sky, hold, nice and controlled down. Lovely. And this is training your upper traps. Lovely. And relax. Very well done. So that was some strength exercises of the shoulder. A huge thank you must go to Becky for helping out with the strength and stretch exercises of the shoulder. If you find yourself dealing with any of these issues, shoulder impingement, rotator cuff issues, bursitis, you name it, come and see us at Austin Performance Sports Therapy. We've got all kinds of treatment to use. We can do some decompression, we can do some eccentric loading, we can do deep tissue therapy around the shoulder area, we've got hot and cold therapy, we've got acupuncture, a little bit of band resistance work. It's great for the shoulder impingements. So yeah, if you find yourself dealing with any of these issues, get in touch with us. Our details are on the bottom of the screen. We look forward to hearing from you, honestly. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.